The Madden cover. Ever since 1999, or I guess 1995 if you count Ricky Waters' cover, but ever since 1999 specifically, there's always been an athlete on the cover of Madden. Some range from household names, and others are just people you probably never heard of before. But there is something I've noticed about all of these players. Every time they're put on the Madden cover, the next season, or later in their career, there seems to be something wrong. And I don't know why this is, other than to assume there's a Madden curse. Now, in order to be different from other people who do the Madden curse videos, I put my own spin on it by giving each player a cursed rating. 1 out of 10 through 10 out of 10. 1 out of 10 means barely cursed at all, if cursed at all. And then 10 out of 10 means one of the worst, if not the worst, affected player by the curse. These are going to be determined by what happened to them. For example, a simple flu and missing one game is not going to be really high on the list. It'd probably be like a 1 out of 10. And then there's people with the 10 out of 10s who had severe leg injuries that ruined their careers. So there's your examples for this. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and sorry, I guess I technically lied after releasing that YouTube short upcoming for this that was talking about this video and how it was upcoming, because I said this would be the full video. This is only part 1. But again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, because we're trying to reach 30 subs. We just barely missed it last month. We're going to try and get it this month, if not more. And let's just keep trying to reach that goal, because it's a goal I want to hit, and I hope you guys want me to hit that goal. Anyways, let's get on into it. So, let's start off with Madden 99 and Garrison Hearst. Garrison Hearst was having a great season. He had a walk-off 99-yard touchdown in overtime against the Jets. He'd been playing out of his mind, and then he goes into the divisional round against the Atlanta Falcons and snaps his leg in half. And, this snap, till this day, still terrifies me. Because when watching the footage for when he got injured, the snap just stays in your brain because it's so awful to look at. And not only is it awful to look at, but it was awful for him. Not only did the injury cost him 2 seasons of his career, but it also costed his career in all, as it forced him into retirement. In all, this is easily a 10 out of 10 curse rating, because he was the first ever player that hit the Madden curse. And I know, it might be like because he's the first one, I have to give it a 10 out of 10 rating, but this was just so blistering, painful to watch and witness on TV that it's just really hard not to give it a 10 out of 10 rating. And as a Seahawks fan, I still feel bad for this guy. And you know what? I have a feeling that this curse also affected the next guy on this list. So next we have Madden 2000. And as you'll see, I have 2 different players for Madden 2000 due to this very reason. Barry Sanders and his mysterious retirement. You see, Barry Sanders had such a good career going on. He was in his prime, and he was breaking all sorts of records. And then, he mysteriously retired. He left the game. Why did he leave the game? Well, theories speculate that he saw what happened to Garrison Hearst after being put on the cover. And rather than turning the cover down, he just went ahead and retired after putting it on the cover, which is ridiculous. And due to this almost being as serious, in my opinion, the Garrison Hearst event, because this is only the second ever curse and it's more evidence the curse exists, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Especially because of the fact it corresponds with Garrison Hearst's event. And this event is the reason why Dorsey Levens, who's coming up next, also got cursed. So next is Dorsey Levens, who again took over the cover after Barry Sanders left it because he retired. And Dorsey Levens, I give a 5 out of 10 cursed rating because he suffered a pair of knee injuries that took a toll on the season. It doesn't seem that major, but when you think about it, this did correspond with Barry Sanders leaving, which put the curse on Dorsey Levens, so I boosted it up a little bit. Either way, this is one of the hardest covers to research for because I didn't even really know who Dorsey Levens was before this video. So there you go. So next we have Eddie George, and I would say if Dorsey Levens was an example of not so cursed, this is definitely not so cursed. I gave him a cursed rating of 1 out of 10 because you could say that Eddie George wasn't really cursed at all because he had one of the best seasons of his career, if not the best season of his career, and clearly avoided stuff that happened to the previous three players. All that happened to him is he had the second worst amount of fumbles in his career, 5. His worst amount was 8, if you wanted to know. But yeah, that's really it. I have nothing else to say about Eddie George. He clearly gets a 1 out of 10. So Dante Culpepper is an interesting case for Madden 02. I gave him a 7 out of 10 curse rating because it's kind of hard to figure out him. So he had a great season in 2000, and coming into the 2001 season, he went 4-7 as a starter. It seemed weird, and then he missed 6 games due to injury. And when you look at that, it doesn't make very much sense, but I'm guessing he missed half of the game that he had probably played in. So there you go. But also, he had 27 turnovers, 14 of those being fumbles. It was a really unsimilar season to compare to what Dante's career was, because Dante Culpepper was a good quarterback, but this season definitely didn't show. Meaning I gave him a 7 out of 10 curse rating. Same deal as Dante Culpepper with Marshall Faulk in Madden 03. Marshall Faulk was having a great career, and then this season it plummeted. Due to injuries, he missed several starts, which he didn't really miss starts throughout his career. And then his streak of 5 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons ended and collapsed, as not only did he not hit it this season, he didn't hit it the rest of his career. Talk about a sad story for an NFL legend, and yes, I'm saying that as a Seahawks fan. Oh my. Madden 04 and what is probably considered the most famous Madden quarterback of all time, Michael Vick. Man, I want to say that this 8 out of 10 cursed rating is really making sense here, but I have to theorize a lot here. So, of course, the main part of the rating is because he fractured his right fibula, missing 11 games. The next part is, let's just not talk about the dog fighting, baby. I'm just going to assume that the Madden curse inflicted that idea of him getting caught for it, and then all that stuff happened. I don't really know. Let's just not talk about it. So next is Ray Lewis, which I consider Madden 05 one of my favorite Maddens. But sadly, Ray Lewis still was affected. At the very least, Ray Lewis wasn't affected that bad because Ray Lewis only suffered a broken wrist at the end of the season, which made him miss the final game of the season, and he missed the first game since 2002. But other than that, it's only a 3 out of 10 curse rating. It isn't as big as some of the other things we've seen, so that's why I had to give it a 3 out of 10. So next is 2006 and Donovan McNabb, and kind of what I have to say here is I gave him a 4 out of 10 curse rating, but I don't really feel like what happened to him reflects that rating. You see, he ended up having sports hernia and a groin injury both in the same season, and McNabb doubted the Madden curse, and of course this happened. Now, I find this just feeling like it should be more than a 4 out of 10, But due to the injuries and what they were and how they aren't as big as some other injuries we've seen, I only gave it a 4 out of 10. So, Mickey Nav, I guess you weren't as cursed, which I guess is good. So here it comes. Now I have to try and defend the reason why I gave Sean Alexander from Madden 07 a 8 out of 10 curse rating. I'm trying to leave my Seahawks biasy away from this as much as possible, but it's just hard to. Sean Alexander had one MVP. He was starting every single game. And then it happens. He breaks his foot in week 3. And let me tell you, as a Seahawks fan, and I'm going to try to leave the biasy out of this, but as a Seahawks fan, that's just bad. That's just bad to have to think about what happened. And then he just got injured too much. And on the Washington Redskins at the time, he retires. And just makes me feel sad that such a Seahawks legend got hit by the Madden curse. And, you'll see in part 2 that Richard Sherman definitely wasn't as hit hard as Sean Alexander here. I still feel bad for both of them, but Sean Alexander is definitely my most saddest attack of the Madden curse here, despite giving it only 8 out of 10. You could argue it could be lower, you could argue it could be higher. But in order to avoid biasy, I had to put it 8 out of 10. I'm sorry, Sean. Sorry. So here's the cover of Madden 08 and Vince Young. And I'm just going to try and get to this fast because, this is the thumbnail for this video. Curse 10 out of 10 rating. Vince Young had one of the best college careers of all time, and then he suffers several leg injuries, wrist injuries, and all that stuff in his career. And his coach keeps on letting him play and not play until Vince Young finally has to get out of there. And then after that, Vince Young goes ahead and spends $5,000 a week on cheesecake. Yeah, let's just say Madden curse definitely hit him, and I don't care what you say. This is probably the most blatantly obvious effect of the Madden curse yet. Despite Vince Young mocking it in its face, but whatever. So next is Brett Favre from Madden 09. And I would say I would like to skirt away from all the curse stuff currently because Brett Favre kind of cursed the Madden on its own. He straight up went ahead and made it difficult on EA Sports by retiring as a Packer, so they made the honorable cover. They switched the cover to him in a Jets jersey because he unretired. So Brett Favre made it pretty difficult. Either way, 5 out of 10 curse rating isn't too big. He had a shoulder injury due to age. He was age 39, so it was going to happen sooner or later. And then he threw 22 picks, which led the NFL. Other than that, not much from Brett Favre. So here we are with our second dual threat fan cover. This one being Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu. Starting with Larry Fitz, he has a 2 out of 10 curse rating. I really couldn't think of anything about him that was cursed. Essentially, he just didn't return to the Super Bowl and dealt with knee and elbow injuries by getting a miss in no time. So yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything else to say about Larry Fitz. So next is Troy Polamalu, and let's just say he did not have the same good luck that Larry Fitzgerald had. Troy Polamalu suffered the worst season of his career as he had a knee sprain which lowered him to only 5 games of the season, and then he re-injured his knee later in that season. Not only that, his curse rating I put at a 7 out of 10 because that sounds pretty bad, and I know it's only a one-season thing, but Troy Polamalu was such a good player and was in his prime, and then this just happened. So yeah, maybe he does not deserve a 7 out of 10 for curse rating, but it's one of the strongest curse ratings for a specific season I have to have. So it's put here. So next is Drew Brees and the Madden 11 cover and 3 out of 10 curse rating. This is going to be another quick one. Nothing really much happened to him. He lost my 7-9 Seahawks bias aside, but I did have to put part of it for this ranking. And then he threw his career high 22 picks. Overall, though, it was a great season for Drew Brees, so it's hard to take him down. Also, just saying, this is one of the best Madden covers ever, how they have that spray feature in the background. But yeah, let's go. That's it. So next is Peyton Hillis in Madden 12. And let's just say that I think Peyton Hillis was doomed from the start. So a fan vote went on, and he won the vote because of recency bias and how he had such a good season the year before. But I don't think he really deserved the cover. The things that give him the 6 out of 10 curse rating, which I know may be a little subpar depending on how you think of this, was he disappointingly was a one-hit wonder and dealt with hamstring injuries and strep throat during the season. And of course, his injuries forced him into retirement. You know the drill. So yeah, you can take it any way you want, but that's just how I'm going to have to put it here. It's a 6 out of 10. So finally, in our last cover athlete for today's video, we got Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson is an interesting fellow, considering he's a 1 out of 10 curse rating, and there's no doubting about it. Yeah, there's no question here. He only had 5 touchdowns this season, but didn't matter. He put up so many good stats, so literally I have nothing else to say. He's easily the least cursed ever, so I guess we're ending off on a good note. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Kudos to Madden for letting players be on their covers, but honestly, to prevent players from getting injured, they might just want to stop the covers and just produce regular John Madden mentions on it, because just think about it right now, Madden games sell themselves. So the cover athlete barely does anything. The cover athlete's just pure decoration. And honestly, they're not very good decoration because they've been injuring players and ruining their careers. So yeah, you'll see in part 2 that maybe we won't end on such a bad, note, but trust me, we will. But either way, I hope you guys again enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And check out another video on my channel. We got several more sports YouTube shorts. And of course, we got other Super Mario stuff and sports videos coming down the way. So until next time.